Lately, it seems that NHL teams have been playing a game of hot potato with a rather cold starch, in which being Alex Galchenyuk. From being drafted 3rd overall in the 2012 NHL Entry Draft, to finding little to now no success. What exactly happened to Alex Galchenyuk? Gally was at one point seen as a young, promising player from the cheese state of Wisconsin, with terrific offensive skills and a rather stunning shot. Today, it seems most people couldn't tell you where he is currently and where he is going to be tomorrow. This is a character who made it out of Montreal's camp at only 18 years of age. Keep that in mind. During the early start of his career, he had above average numbers. His rookie season had him notching 27 points in only 48 games played. His sophomore year was impressive as well, and following this was a season where he showed the shot Montreal fans were looking for. A season of 20 goals by Alex. Then that was topped by a season of 30 goals. It seemed the sky was his ceiling, and many Habs fans thought they may have found their future face of the franchise. Spoiler alert, they did not. Sadly for a big guy like Alex, he has always had an issue with certain physical issues. For instance, at the age 19, he was wearing a full-time knee brace for the Habs. He is, and always has been, on the slower side of skaters in the NHL. We mean physically, we don't know about the mental side. This is a confidence shaker. In today's game, it is all about speed. When you are the odd man out and it isn't necessarily your fault, that can be a tough thing to cope with. All of this combined with that over-publicized incident with his ex-girlfriend just seemed to get in the way of the game for young Galchenyuk. Montreal eventually trades him to the Arizona Coyotes, which at the time looked alarming. Turns out the Habs benefited highly from this, as Gally was not a good fit in Yotes Nation and was sent away a few months later to Pittsburgh. During this time of play, Gally had a lot of value to say the least, being involved in trades with jersey-selling names like Phil Kessel and Max Domi for starters. Arizona was a bit of a downfall, but the dumpster fire began in the Steel City. Coach Mike Sullivan, to many at least, is one of the biggest causes of his downfall. From being planned to play on the first or second lines with Evgeny Malkin, the Russian superstar, or Sidney Crosby. He spent most of his time in Pittsburgh on the 4th line or the bench. Sullivan made it clear it was simply not a good fit, and this really just took the value and confidence out of our Alex. After spending less than a year with the Penguins, Gally was shipped off once again to the Minnesota Wild. There was still hope for Gally, a lot of hope, let's be honest. Less than 20 games later, Wild general manager stated he had no interest in the player. It was at this point Alex Galchenyuk's career was seeming as doomed as the Ottawa Senators. Seems fitting, right? Because it was. In free agency, the Sens took a chance on the kamikaze himself. A fresh start, a chance to prove himself again on this rebuilding team. He loved it, fans loved it, even Scooby-Doo loved it.
I love Galchenyuk.
And even Marge Simpson even got a bite of him and she loved every little bit of it.
Oh, golly.
It seemed, for the first time in a long time, all the puzzle pieces were falling into place. 8 games later, Gally was traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. Before even playing a game for the Canes, he was immediately traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs. At one point, he was being traded for some of the league's top names, to now being traded for non-prospects and salary relief. To make matters worse, the Leafs did not give him a goddamn chance. He is currently sitting with their AHL affiliate, the Marlies, until last week. He made his debut with the Leafs. Stay tuned. He's going to get traded regardless. Let's pause and look at the major statistic here that creates this major disappointment. This has been 7 different teams in 4 seasons. That's a big yikes. The best overall answer in comparison for all of this we have seen was this quote.
Some players are like Swiss Army knives. They can play a lot of different games, different styles. Alex was one-dimensional, with a big shot and a bigger heart.
All of his previous teammates and coaches have had nothing but positive, yet similar concerns to say about Gally. He's a great guy, just seems to be lost. Listens to his father rather than the staff. Someone's got daddy issues. Last but not least, is easily shaken with confidence. He's a player, like many, who identified as a goal scorer. That was him. That was his role. Once he stopped producing those 20 or 30 goal seasons, it rattled his dome. Of course, playing in Montreal did not help that. Looking at his play, however, he has ultimately no forecheck and just seems to be defensively lost. It's time to go back to basics for Gally, and that's what playing on the minors will hopefully do for him. His career can be saved. He just needs to find his drive again. To do that, it's back to the school of hockey basics and running baseline drills. Hey, something to add is that Nelly Akapov, Tony DeAngelo, and you guessed it, Alex Galchenyuk actually all played with the Sarnia Sting in the 2011-2012 season. They all have their own share of issues to say the least, but one thing they all have in common is that they seem to not be able to play at an NHL level. Statements about all of these players not being able to fit in team systems and terms of play are uncanny.
If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content just like this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you, and we'll see you next time, gents.